Hi everyone, and welcome to the second part of your rental car training. You just heard from Christina Luna about the risk aspect of rental cars at Institute, and now we're going to talk a little bit about the procurement aspect of rental cars at Institute. First of all, my name is Brennan McMahon, and I'm the manager of procurement here at Teach for America. I deal with basically purchasing all of the things that institutes need to operate on a daily basis. In particular, with rental cars, I handle the enterprise relationship as well as the compliance portion through invoice payment. Here's a quick look at what we're going to be talking about today. First of all, we're going to discuss why this is important, especially from a business aspect. Next, we're going to discuss what your responsibilities are as the operations director. Then we're going to discuss a little bit about the rental car tracker, which is the most important tool that we have together to track rental cars through Institute, through invoice payment. And finally, a brief closeout. So again, talking about why this is important, you heard from Christina why the risk management piece of this is so important. Now I want to talk a little bit about why the relationship with the enterprise is important from a business perspective. Maintaining a good relationship with enterprise is critical to keeping our costs down at Institute and is very unique in the rental car business. We rent hundreds of cars for several weeks to temporary employees each year. So when you think about it, renting several hundred cars to an organization for a few weeks to mostly be driven by temporary staff members is a pretty unusual project for any rental car company. We've been working with Enterprise for a very long time, and a lot of what we're able to do with them is because we have an existing relationship. And we maintain that existing relationship through good tracking, following their policies, and on-time invoice payment. Our department did some investigating to determine just how valuable our relationship with Enterprise is. And if we were to start fresh with a new vendor at this point, the best deal we could possibly get would be much more expensive and require that no one under 30 be able to drive a rental car. If you think about who we hire to work in the summer at Institute, most of our staff is typically under 30, so that would create major logistical problems as far as Institute goes in operations. Now let's talk a little bit about what your responsibilities are going to be. First, you're going to need to manage the inventory and logistics of rental car delivery. So start with, your DIO should be able to loop you in on the plan for rental car delivery and the number of cars to expect. Your DIO has already placed the order through Enterprise and should have all of this information. So your main job is going to be to figure out how to manage the inventory of the cars on the actual delivery day. Enterprise is going to be dropping all of the cars off at a designated location on or near campus, and you'll need to have all of your staff handy to take inventory for the cars after they arrive. Delivery day can be a logistical challenge, so please ensure you have a direct line of communication with the local enterprise manager on delivery day. This can be provided by your DIO. Please ask them for any further support you might need here. If you have any other questions beyond that, please feel free to reach out to me. Your next responsibility is maintaining inventory and usage in the tracker at 100% accuracy. We're going to talk through this in a bit, but this tracker is extremely important to fill out as soon as cars arrive and ongoing through Institute, because this is our only record of purchase and usage that we can tie to the invoices for compliance and payment reasons. Next, you're going to be the face of TFA when interacting with Enterprise. I discussed earlier about why it's so important to maintain this business relationship. Being the face and being professional in all interaction with Enterprise is a key component of this, because you may be dealing with several people at Enterprise, from the manager down through employees at the branch. Just please maintain a professional attitude at all times, and if you have any problems, please reach out to your DIO or me in procurement. Next, report issues and unused cars to Enterprise. You'll also want to report this up through your DIO. So first things first, be aware of how all your cars are being used. If you think the Institute has ordered too many cars or believe cars are sitting without being used, please talk to your DIO. It's important to realize when cars are not being used, because we can actually return these cars for a refund and not be charged for them. It's also equally important so that no damage happens to cars that go unchecked for 30 to 45 days or throughout the duration of Institute. Finally, you're going to manage the final inventory and logistics for car return. So with a few weeks left at Institute, you will need to come up with a plan for rental car pickup and key collection. You will again need a staging area and your enterprise contact for this. When in doubt, please talk to your DIO about how this should look and also refer to last year's plan for guidance. Also, a lot of this information is going to be provided in a tech and procurement guide that you're going to have access to throughout the summer as a quick reference guide for brief timeline, contacts, and what to do in the event of that you need to return a car, etc. Next, we're going to review the rental car tracker. Before I talk about how we're going to keep track of all these cars, let's discuss why it's critical that we have 100% documentation. It's important that this tracker is as accurate as possible because, as I said before, this is our only link for compliance to invoice payment to actual cars driven throughout the summer. And also, we need this record for any risk issues that come up as discussed in Christina's training. So let's take a look at the actual tracker itself. It is fairly self-explanatory, but I will walk you through exactly what has to happen. So starting in row 3, I have a few examples here. Column A, you'll have a car number. It's important to number the cars, as you'll see, because if you have to switch cars in and out, we have a special way of tracking those cars. You'll input everything across the row, but if you look in column G, you'll see the contract number, and column H, you'll have a unit number. This information is going to come off of the actual agreement that we sign with each car for enterprise that you're going to receive on delivery day. Moving down further, on columns M and N, you're going to have gas level received and mileage received. You're going to confirm these on that contract that you're going to receive as well and enter those in the tracker. Again, those are extremely important to put in, as is everything here, but those things are going to happen most importantly on car delivery day. So let's move down and look at row 4, and you'll see car number 2 and 2A. If you see how in column B we have number 2 as the original and 2A as the replacement, well, this happened because we track it this way because if you need to return a car and receive a replacement, it's important to track those two cars together because we're going to receive 2 separate invoices for those. So let's take car number 2 for example. If you look all the way over and look at our notes column, you'll see that the power windows stopped working in column T. What's going to happen then is you're going to notify your enterprise representative, and they're going to drop off a new car, which is car 2A, a replacement car, and you're going to fill out all of the same information for that car. And with the notes, keeping the notes column in mind, if you see anything on any of the cars when you receive them and they do not have, if there's something wrong with them, if there's a dent, if there's a scratch, please make note of that in the notes column. Okay, moving on from those in particular, you're going to have to make sure all of your rental cars get marked in this tracker. And this is what I'm going to be monitoring. If I have any questions as far as invoice payment goes, or if I have any questions for you, or if we have any discussions, we're going to want to refer back to this document in particular. So now, looking at column U, you see there, that is a TPSD operations confirmation column. What's going to happen there is after you enter all of your rental cars, I'm going to then mark that that car was actually inventoried. So then if I have any questions on that car, I'll be able to reach out to you. And also, as I go through the invoice payment, I need to make sure that all of these cars have been inventoried. The estimated cost column is to give us an idea for compliance purposes how much money we may be in or out of compliance if cars are not inventoried properly. Okay, in closing with the tracker, you're going to receive a copy of this for your own particular institute, and your DIO is going to give you access to it. You can delegate this how you feel if you need to give it to an OC or whoever you need to, but please make sure that this is filled out as soon as rental cars are delivered. So, in closing, you have a few next steps. Please review your transition binder. Reach out to your DI if you have any questions. Be prepared to train your summer staff. And be prepared to discuss the logistics of initial delivery from Enterprise with your DIO. It's important to remember that before you sign off from this training, that this is a very important, serious work stream. You have the detailed procedures, which we anticipate to being really helpful, but of course, if you have any feedback on them not being really helpful, we like to hear that. You also have your DIO and my direct contact information if you have any questions. So good luck, and thank you for your time.